Hey guys, welcome back to the Art House. I was just messing with you there. So there was a big announcement here in Discord. What I'm showing on the screen, we're just going to go and show the desktop today. I wanted to provide some perspective on this very significant update that Erik's Curiosa, the creator of Sorcery TCG, put out. When was this? Yesterday at 5:05 a.m. So Erik lives in New Zealand, so relative to me, that's a very different time of day, sometimes in a different day entirely. So he says, at everyone, the Sorcery team is now back in action. We hope you all had a good holiday. We've got a quick update today to show what has been happening over the holidays. All right, so from what I understand, in New Zealand, someone mentioned in the Discord that they typically shut down until the 9th of January. I asked Erik, what he's been up to lately, just kind of checking in, and he said that, he's been kind of keeping an eye on production and things. He couldn't just completely take off, so now he's back full at it here as of yesterday when he put out this update. So first and foremost, we got a production update, which is great news. It says card production has moved along nicely, with only the last silver foil stamp treatment on foil cards still being done. Unfortunately, a portion of the workers at our partner's production facility, and their facilities in China, for some context here, have had to stay home due to COVID, which has slightly slowed things down but never stopped them. So, they're managing through the situation like a lot of corporations are. This is, I'd say this is good news in light of, what we know of what's going on in the world situation in COVID times. There's a lot of disruption, especially in production plants, especially in China. So it's good that they've been able to navigate that and persevere and work through that. I think there was an update, I want to say, sometime earlier in the week or last week, where he said that all of the he showed like a picture of a foil card. It was a Mikhail Nagipal card, and it looked amazing in foil. And he said they're working through the foil stamping process. So on the Sorcery Facebook page, which I always include in the description, you can go and you could see that image, and you could see the template of how they do the hot stamp to get the matte silver finish on there. So it's a multi-stage foiling process. I think it's going to be very intricate, very striking and beautiful looking. Super excited about that. And the stamp gives you that very clean, tight, precise silver text on the card. That I think is going to look like a kind of cold foil finish in a way. I forget if it's cold foil or not, but it looks incredible in the pictures. I can say firsthand that cards always look better than pictures. These sample cards, we saw them in picture form. I've seen many of them in person, and they look amazing. Just like paintings and artwork, right? Like a picture never does it justice. You got to see it in person, and it's a whole new experience. All right, so now next, and importantly, he says team update. The team is sad to report that Simon has exited the business. So if you know Simon, he started off as a community manager, and I'm gonna talk more about this. Let me get through the announcement. He has exited the business. He is a man with too many good options. So good for Simon. Sounds like maybe he got another opportunity. We thank him for his invaluable contributions and wish him well. The community at sorcerytcg.com email is currently manned by Erik. So Erik's got a lot of work to do. He's probably getting peppered with inquiries constantly like Simon was. And then he goes on to say, we're pleased to welcome Sean Goodison to the Sorcery team, a seasoned veteran of the game industry. They will help with both game and graphic design, and one of their first tasks will be to help with getting the beta edition of Sorcery finalized. So couple interesting things here. I'll talk about Simon in a minute, but welcome to Sean. That's sounds like a great addition. The last couple of hires, like 2 hires ago, they hired the guy that created Curiosa.io. So also welcome to him. That's a nice, interesting acquisition because it. I think the key value prop in that is it's going to give Sorcery the creators and designers a lot of insight into the player community. So they'll be able to see what kind of decks are being created, what like card combinations, what cards in general are most popular and most played with. A lot of like data like that is super helpful for refining the game. And when you're thinking about a beta follow-up and trying to refine for beta and then for future expansions, you can really get a better sense of the meta when you have that data to analyze and look at objectively and say, this is where we might want to add some synergistic cards or different things to kind of augment the previous releases. So I think that was an interesting acquisition. Sean, so before that acquisition, they brought on someone, a very experienced veteran in the industry who greatly enhanced the rule book. So that's in a great state, and people seem to be resonating with that and picking up the game quickly. And I've seen nothing but very positive feedback about that. So very great hires. I imagine it's probably fairly difficult operating a company out of New Zealand versus like the U.S. So finding hires, finding quality people in this industry is a challenge, so it's significant whenever somebody leaves and whenever someone new comes on board. We should celebrate the new hires. The company's got to grow. They had a very massively successful Kickstarter, and there was a ton of work to do to get to this point, to get to the alpha release, and we need to be thinking about moving forward to beta and beyond that for Arthurian Legends, and maintain the production schedule, pace and all the work and efforts that go into refining and releasing new sets and making sure they're balanced and playable, and everything that goes into art curation and commissions and design of the card and all the meticulous detail that goes into Sorcery TCG. All right, so Simon leaving. Like I say, Simon was the community manager early on. He was like, so the Discord was stood up, I want to say August 2021, so more than a year ago. Simon was like one of the first guys in the Discord, and then I came on. I heard about it like soon after I joined, like a couple weeks later, maybe like first week of September, I want to say. But Simon was already there. He was one of the major players. He reached out to Erik. He ended up joining the team, and so he initially took on the role of community manager, and he was kind of moderating and administering the Discord and the communications with the community. His role, I know, involves significantly, and he took on a lot of responsibility behind the scenes. And, I know this from talking with Simon and Erik and others in the company. I won't get into anything sensitive, not that they told me, anything super sensitive, but his role was very expansive beyond just community manager, and that's important to know. I've seen some people come out and express dissatisfaction with how community management and maybe some of the marketing efforts have gone. Everyone's entitled to their own opinion and like or dislike people for whatever reasons, right? So that's just one aspect of his role. So I think it's important to acknowledge that he did way, way more beyond that, and I presume that that's why maybe some of the communications were a little more inconsistent maybe than some people had liked in recent months. But the Kickstarter itself was massively successful, wildly exceeded expectations, I think it's fair to say. So that created a lot of buzz, a lot more printing that had to be done, just to release a game on that order of magnitude and scale and get the distribution right into production and all the logistics that go into that became a lot more demanding, and it's a very small team. So when you're a small team, you can't just be community manager. You can't just be design guy. You can't just be rule book guy. Small startup companies leverage the expertise across the team, and you got to wear many hats and take on many roles and responsibilities. So this, I know, was true of Simon. He actually had a tremendous amount of experience in the industry. And a lot of connections too. I think he was involved with several, startup projects of similar ilk, in the TCG industry and gaming industry, I think I'd say more broadly. So it is a significant loss. It's not trivial. It's great that they announced Sean at the same time, so hopefully he can fill those shoes in some aspect, and other team members are going to have to step up. But yeah, it's a loss that's significant. I mean, maybe you like some of the things he did. Maybe you disliked him personally, but a lot of people liked him too. Some people are going to dislike him. That's how it is. People like and dislike me for whatever reasons, and everybody else. It's human nature, right? So you can't please everybody, but I think he did contribute a lot, so I just want to acknowledge that. Thanks, Simon, for his efforts. It's unfortunate that he's gone. I think it's a loss that's going to be felt by the company, but I'm also confident that the silver lining here is they're very far along in alpha fulfillment, right? So I think we're getting very close. They've said for a while that the goal is first quarter of 2023. So here we are. This is the very beginning of first quarter, January, February, March. The Chinese New Year is coming up. There's some COVID complications, but they're very, very far along in print. And I believe the goal all along was to try to get ahead of the Chinese New Year holiday, where presumably they'd have a factory production shutdown, I'm assuming. So they're at the final stages. They're doing the foil stamping. If they can get that done, get things packaged up, and then get them released to their distribution partner, I'd say there's still a very good chance we're on track for first quarter. And some people probably would have hoped that was New Year's Day, January 1st, the very first day of the quarter. But, first quarter is first quarter. It allows you 3 months of wiggle room. I think that was a smart call. They didn't say a specific month or a specific date, so there's some margin in there. There's a lot of uncertainty in the COVID business world right now. There's risks, production risks, shipping, fulfillment. Things go wrong, That's just life. That's business. Long story short, I think they're pretty far along. Good luck to Simon wherever he's off to. Hopefully he got a good opportunity. I almost said better opportunity, but to me this is the best opportunity you could possibly have. So, but who knows? Maybe he got an offer he couldn't refuse. That happens in life sometimes, right? Or maybe he's a startup guy and wants to go work on the next startup. I think he's done startups before, right? So maybe he's a startup guy. I don't know. Whatever it may be. I don't have any special insight on that. I'm just glad for his contributions. A couple things, actually, that's worth repeating is it was his idea to license with Frazetta. So we all like that decision, right? That's pretty awesome. I think the Curio decision may have been his as well. And I think whether it is or it wasn't, it's worth stating that is a genius concept. I'm huge on that. I mean, of course, I'm a bit of a historian of the game, so I'm into that kind of thing. And that's the spirit of curios. It's supposed to somehow represent the development and, coming to age or release and, history of sorcery in some way, right? We don't know much about it. It's kind of cryptic. No pun intended with the other game. But it's interesting. I think it creates another level of chase. Whatever it is, it makes you look at every single card when you're opening packs. And it's also something that has not been pre-released and announced of what these curios are. So I think that in and of itself is a brilliant throwback concept, because the whole spirit of this game is to take you back to the early 90s TCG era, when we were discovering Magic the Gathering for the first time and things like that. And you couldn't just go net deck stuff and go look on the internet of what the whole card list was. You had to go get a Scry magazine or something, right? It wasn't readily discoverable. Or you would just open packs as a kid, or anybody just kind of picking up TCGs for the first time, with Magic being the first breakthrough, and you're discovering the game through the pack opening experience. And that's what curios are, guys. Like, we don't know what they are. You're not going to know what they are until you open them. We don't know how many there are. So when we're like breaking packs, and I'm going to be opening packs on this channel, boxes, cases, I'm going to be fired up when I find a curio and discover what that is. And like, I'm going to be watching everybody else's videos, and we're going to be discovering stuff that we didn't know existed in this set. And that's tremendously exciting, because I've tried to uncover everything there is to know about this alpha set. And there's secrets in there. It's going to be special. It's going to be fun. It's going to be just like the early 90s is what they want, to discover things through the pack opening experience without pre-knowledge of what's in there and what the entire set list is. So brilliant concept. Moving on to the next point, Tabletop Simulator League. So kudos to Ira. Ira is a guy that I believe works for the company. He's on a development team. But this league is his baby. Like, it was his idea. He said, hey, I want to do this as kind of like a fan experience. So kudos to him. And, Erik's Curiosa, although it's not their official, they're not controlling this thing, right, from what I understand. But they're supporting Ira in doing this, going above and beyond, even though he's a company employee. He's doing it kind of like a fan of the game, and because he likes to play competitively and he wants to offer that opportunity to the community. So all the details are here in this link on how to sign up. The company is supporting it with prizes. You could get packs, alpha packs, I think it is, which is really awesome. That's like, some people missed a Kickstarter and they've been dying to buy packs, and there's no way to buy packs other than a secondary market after release. There's not going to be a second offering directly from the company. So this is a really fun, cool opportunity. It'll encourage people to play the game, learn more about it, hopefully, grow the market. It's good marketing tactic, I'd say. And then lastly, we got this video, and let's run this baby, see if it works. I don't know how the volume's going to come through, so I'll just annoyingly talk over it. But this is the factory in China. It's the production line. You see the cards humming along here. And And then this guy's stacking them, it seems. So there's multiple people along the assembly line. You kind of see, yeah, there you go. She was stacking like a bunch of them. It's interesting how they have them lined up in crates there. And then towards the end, you see those packs fire out. And I don't know if the volume is going to come across. You should go back and watch it because the theme song for Sorcery is epic. But on the back there, let me pause it there. We saw this in the art packs. There's this slogan here of what Sorcery is all about. So that's going to be printed on the back. I think in a video, I did a comparison. I want to say, did I do an article or a video on this? I compared to, I think it was a video, and I compared to the early like boxes and packaging, packs and boxes of early vintage Magic, and maybe Flesh and Blood, I think was the other one. And I thought it was interesting. There's always like a company slogan or just kind of like some kind of thematic couple of sentences or something that tells you what the game's all about. So that's what this is, and we saw that on the back of the sample packs that had these art prints on it. So they've retained that. Under this flap, it said first edition. So I presume that's still under that. We don't see that come up in the video, but I just kind of wanted to point out that it's kind of cool how they have that on there. It'll be interesting to see what the final booster box looks like. I think we've seen pictures, but of course anything's subject to change, so we'll see what ultimately it looks like. All right, so now this lady struggles to open the pack here for a little bit. I thought there was I don't know if there's a little tear strip thing to make that easier, and this is just poor technique. I'm not sure, but she gets it open. Then they start looking at the cards, right? So interesting. All right, so pause it. We got an exceptional and an exceptional. So you're going to have 3 exceptionals, exceptional, 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 and then an elite, right? So let's see if we could spot the elite. Got to go slow, pause. All right, so 1, 2. He's got a card tucked under here, guys. So this one is the elite. 2 and a threshold. I know what it is. I figured it out. I suspected it was a Francesca Berald artwork, and then I went and looked it up. All right, so let's go back. This guy scored the first elite we've seen on camera. First pack opening. First break. Hopefully I get the second break. I don't know. But right here, look at that. Look at this design, 2 and 1. All right, so that was the last of the announcement, so I could get out of this Discord. And then Francesca Berald, 2 and 1. Replication. Sick artwork. This is absolutely gorgeous artwork. Elite Magic of Counterfeit Conjuring. Conjure a copy of an artifact carried by the caster. A great sorcerer does not imitate. He plagiarizes. So nice flavor text there. That's pretty nice. Let me see if I can blow that up a little bit. Yeah, look at that. Let me get rid of this dumb face here. All right, so look at this. Look at this amazing artwork by Francesca. And then if I go to the full art page, we can take a look and see. I think I might have grabbed this one. So I'm going to scroll down. I think she was one of the later ads, so it's probably near the bottom of the page. This is at www.collectorarthouse.com. And scrolling. Where is Francesca's artwork? In the full art, because I'm curious, sometimes under the text box, the game mechanic box at the bottom, we have some Easter eggs. Here it is. Got it. So, yeah, it doesn't help that much. Let me go back to this page. Of course, it scrolled back up. All right, so going back up a little bit, here we go. You see like this little piece of this melting away. It's hard to tell what's going on there. Sometimes when you see the card in hand, and I don't think I've come across this card yet in sample card form, you can really get a better sense of what's going on in the artwork. Or I'm sure you could zoom in on the computer, but you see this is kind of like melting hot magma. I'm not sure what it is, but it kind of just trails off here, right, and continues up here and around the hand. Maybe it's part of this key breaking away, but it's pretty beautiful artwork. Last I saw, this might have still been for sale on Francesca's website, so you might want to go check that out. But yeah, that's the first elite we've seen pulled from an alpha pack, and we'll see. You know, I don't know what they do with these, if these are retained or these are just kind of like tests, and after they open them, maybe he has to throw them away because it didn't go through the assembly line to get packed. But I don't know. This video is getting pretty long. I kind of just wanted to hit on the updates, kind of acknowledge the efforts of Simon. You know, people don't know what goes on behind the scenes, guys, you know, so we shouldn't judge people. We don't know why he left. You know, Erik implies here that he had a great opportunity and he got an offer he couldn't refuse. So good for him. But it's nice to see a new member of the team kind of come on board. I'm sure the team will rally and fill those shoes. And, you know, Erik posts out on the website listings. I know they're trying to grow the team. They're going to have to, you know, as they grow and ramp. Hopefully beta is a huge success. The other interesting nugget in here was that Sean's coming on, and Erik's got him immediately tasked to work on beta edition. So they're leaning forward. We expect to see beta within a few months, let's call it, of the alpha release. So it's really important to get product out there quickly to reach the mass market. As I say, a lot of people miss Kickstarter. A lot of people have been asking about where to buy. So people are itching to get on this product. And, you know, 29,000 boxes, that's a lot. There's going to be some flipped on the secondary market, of course, and that'll be absorbed, I assume. I think the demand's going to be high, and I think that demand will be met, and that'll be absorbed. And then we'll need beta to reach the broader market. And for all those that missed, and if there's a premium on the alpha product, then people will just wait a few months for beta. So great. And it's good that they're going to be ready for it. So, all right, that's all I got, guys. There's a big update, big news, some changes going on, a lot of good news. You know, production's very far along, so we're getting very, very close. And yeah, finally, I just want to leave it here. This is my Collector Art House Discord. You know, we've grown it to 350-ish people over the past. I just stood it up a few months ago, so it's great to see people come into the community. You can see there's always interesting dialogue going on. Here's the pictures I just revealed of Ira's beautiful Dream Quest artwork that's coming to auction next Friday the 13th. Yeah, so I do, you know, upfront early reveals here. We run our auctions. Here you see all these listings are the auctions going on. Got a couple bids on the one that's currently live, Hunting Party. Beautiful artwork by Andrea Modesti. And then for patrons, I have archived all the sales. So you have all the historic sales if you support on Patreon. And I do a monthly newsletter. And by the way, that's coming, guys. I usually do that like a week into the new month. And I do a whole article write-up on documenting all of the sales that happened in the prior month and looking at that to give my perspective on the state of the market, how it performed based on those metrics, where I think it's headed, provide my insights on the art market as well, since I deal a lot in paintings with the artists through the auctions and things, and just working commissions directly with the artists. So hopefully that's helpful to people and they enjoy it. And that's all I got for today. So thanks, everybody. Please like and subscribe, and we'll be in touch soon. We might try to do a live event on Saturday to talk about Elvira's artwork and about her painting, Dream Quest, is coming to auction. So look for that. Probably shoot for Saturday afternoon sometime, but I'll announce that in the Collector Art House Discord and in the Facebook page with as much advance notice as I can, and see if we can broadcast that live stream through YouTube and through some of my Facebook groups. I have about a handful of Sorcery Facebook groups. You could find the links again in the description. So thanks, everybody. Until next time, take care of yourself, stay healthy, and thanks always for your interest. Take care.